Good morning, you guys. This is Pearl, and I am going to do you a walkthrough for vuhdo. I'm going to delete it in my Twitch program, and then on the same tab, I could just hit install. But I'm going to go like you guys are going to be going to get more add-ons. And I'm going to go to search, VUH, pops up, and hit install. Okay, and it's installed, and that is all we need to do in Twitch. So I'm going to exit out, hit my play button, and wait for it to pop up. Hope you guys are having a good morning. Mark is out getting oil change in our car, so it's nice and quiet in the house, except for if I have a visitor from a cat. So I'm going to log on to Moonbeam. Now you can use this on all your tunes that you heal with, not just the one that you originally started with. What I do, and I'll show you actually on this if I have enough time. If not, I could make another video where you can import and export once you have it set up for one. Okay, and this is just how it comes up, just basic. And on your mini map, you're going to have a little icon. So you're going to left click on that. It's going to bring up this screen. Right on this right hand side is a slider, and that makes it big. And Lord knows I need it big because I'm not wearing my glasses right now. Okay, and this is your first panel. It's going to be general, spells, buffs, debuffs, panels, colors, tools, and move. So I'm going to go back to general. In the general, there are a lot of things here, and it is overwhelming. But I have to say that this is one place where I don't really do a lot at start. Like if I'm getting into it for the first time, and I just want to go and heal, I do not play around with this at all. This just locks your panels, your operation mode. Like if we want to do something more intense, or if you want to look at a video for the more advanced, then you can go from there. But like I said, this is just going to be a generic basic one to get you playing with vuhdo and healing. Okay? Okay, now all of these you can go through and check them out if you like. Threat incoming, you can do that. It's not a necessity. And I have a kitty visitor, so if I have some meows, that's why. After you start playing with it, you'll see that maybe you want to go through all these things and change. But right now, I'm just going through the tabs so that you could see. We're going to go to spells. This is like the most important. And I bring my spells in there by opening up my spell book. This will move around, so you can always keep that open. Healing touch is fine. That's what I use on my left. Rejuvenation I use on my right because I like to put out everybody. Middle button, that is a generic setup that they always put in there. That frightens me that accidentally I can hit the middle button and my menu pop up. So that's the first thing I want to change. And I am actually going to put wild growth. So I'm going to come to my spell book, grab wild growth, and drop it in. And innervate, I don't have that on my tab. I like life bloom there on button 4. I do have a button 5, but it's hard for my thumb to go to. So I just actually have 4 in here in my spell. Those are on my mouse. I use a lot of, I use an extra keypad that I use, not my keyboard. It's like a G3, I think. And it goes from 1 to 0. So any that I don't have on here, I'll put down here so I have an instant one that I could push down there and up here. It just gives you extra. So that's it for my spells. That's all I put in there. You can, like I said, go through and do more stuff, but this is just generic. You can click through here and see what all these. The most important part in this spells is in Miscellaneous. The smart cast is automatically resurrect dead players out of combat. Click that off so that when we are in an LFR or if you're someplace else doing something, that does not proc when we're doing our LFR. Now, if you want, when you are like doing a mythic or something like that, for it to do it, by all means, go back to this Miscellaneous in your spells and hit that resurrect so that it automatically does that, okay? But that is something that it is a default, so it always has it. Okay, and hostiles, I don't do anything with that for the basic setup. Buffs, you can do that. Like I said, I'm only doing the basic just so you can start playing. Colors, don't really. You can go back and change those for, this is more for the advanced. Debuff, this is all default. I leave it at default. Custom, again, I don't really change anything unless I need to go back. Once I start playing, you find out, you know, what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Go back, then go and see what these different things do for your class or for whatever you're doing. But this is going to get you started, get you healing with it, okay? We're going to go to panels, default, sizing. This is going to change your panel here. So you can make it bigger, you can make it longer, you can make it bigger. I sometimes make mine a little bit bigger because I have hots that pop up on it, and I like to see that I have life bloom and I have rejuvenation on the people, and it pops up on there. So I like mine a little bit larger. If you notice, some people and some of the videos, they make them pretty small, but I like to see my hots on them. And all these different things are going to show the different spacing, and you can play with that. Bars, I love class colors. This way, I don't really have to look at the name so much because it's so small. And I don't really want to make it bigger because then it's going to cover more and I'm not going to see my hots. So I do, it's default class colors. And then I change my bar texture. I do like, I think it's Armory. Yeah, where it's just plain, kind of matted. You can change that to whatever you want. They have all these different things. I do like Armory. Okay, headers. This is the basic, so not really have to show any of that. As a healer, you could do this, target of target, but I don't myself. I always have like one of the tanks focused on, and I have something clicked. I'll show you when we get to it, where if I click on this, it's going to automatically pop whoever whoever I click on. So let's see. This is just default. And default. These are your hots, like where they pop up on my little guy here. My panel for healing. It just shows where it's going to pop up at. Hot bar. You could change where it is located on your panel. At this time, like I said, this is just to get you started, so I'm only going through those, and I only change a few things to start with. So we are now in colors and going through, this is setup, the modes, powers, hots, more of the hots, hot 2. Class colors is where you can change them if you want. Rate icons. and then target. We're going to go to tools, profile. This is where if I had not deleted this, you would have seen a whole bunch of my different ones on here. And this is where I can actually send, you can export and import different profiles. And you can save them, name them. I'm going to vuhdo-esque. I'm going to name this Moonbeam. You do not have to do this, okay? So when I click on this, it's not going to be Moonbeam. Okay, these you do not have to do anything. Key layout, this is all default, export, share, panel wizard, and reset. Okay, then we're going to go to move. This one I really don't change anything with either. These panels, I don't really like to get rid of them because sometimes they are helpful. What I do is just hide them at the bottom, okay? So I did miss something where I like to do the no click, and that is in general on the general basics, okay? What that does is, nope, is that it? Let me see if I okay it first and then I'll do it. Nope, dadgummit. Let's go back up to this, that's not it. Doo, doo, doo. I have to do this every time. I think this is it. Okay, it's going to be in spells, miscellaneous. That's where we took off the SmartCast resurrect. And then we're going to go in the miscellaneous part, we're going to click on target. You don't have to do this if you don't want. I just like it. So if I click on somebody, it's going to show them up here so that I can actually do other things that are on my tab button down on my action bar to that person, because otherwise I would have to go through and click if they're in my party, and you can see like the different hots. Let me make those bigger. Go back into vuhdo and panels and sizing, and let me make this bigger so you can see all those hots, okay? And let's see, there's my life bloom. There's my regrowth, my rejuvenation, and there's my wild growth. It's just very helpful for me to see this, and I don't have anybody else in here, so I can't really click on them. But that's kind of just a basic walkthrough that's going to help you do vuhdo, and it's not really that scary. I mean, the basic default settings are really easy, and there was only a few things that I really changed, and that's just for ease for myself. In the general tab, miscellaneous, I like to do in the spells tab, miscellaneous. Spell tabs, miscellaneous. I'd like to do the target so that when I click on somebody, their target comes up here so I can use my action bars below. And the SmartCast. Resurrect is not automatic. You can put that back on. Like I said, it's very easy, on and off. But that is it. Let me stop the video now. I hope you guys enjoy, and if you have any questions, please let me know, and anybody else. Thanks, guys. Who doesn't love a dancing broccoli?